Atlus has officially kicked off the road to Persona's 30th anniversary celebration, happening next year in 2026, with the announcement of Persona 5 The Phantom X's global launch, giving Persona and JRPG fans a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks and months, as big game reveals are right around the corner. We've discussed at length what Atlus is likely going to do regarding the reveals of the upcoming Persona 4 Remake and with Persona 6, but I'm thinking the announcement of Persona 5 The Phantom X's global launch ahead of Summer Game Fest leaves room for Atlus to really lay thick on huge Persona announcements for projects slated to land next year. We're diving into all that, leaks and rumors included, as some of these earlier leaks may have been right after all as to when we may see Persona 6 release, along with everything you need to know ahead of Persona 5 The Phantom X's global launch next month. So if you're a fan of Persona and are hyped for some big reveals in the coming weeks, Theurgy attack that like button, participate in my ongoing giveaway of Atlus's newest remaster in the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, and save big on your next Gamer Supps order by using my affiliate link in the description to get free shipping worldwide. Better yet, if you are unsure of which flavors to get, we've got you covered with free samples sent directly to you, no matter where you are. So use the link in the description and you'll be good to go. In a rather shocking turn of events, the well-received free-to-play mobile game Persona 5 The Phantom X just announced its global release date before the game officially launched in Japan. Releasing on June 26th, everyone will be able to access this latest Persona spin-off title for the first time outside of select countries in Asia. And while the game will make its debut on mobile and Steam, Sega and Atlus have discussed that they intend to release the game on console in the future. P5X is a continuously expanding live service game featuring the setting of Persona 5's sprawling Tokyo and Memento's environments, tasking players to explore new dungeons, strengthen their personas, form new relationships, take on part-time jobs, and more, all while experiencing an original story. With frequent appearances from the original Persona 5 cast, along with having done some big collaborations with recent Persona games like Persona 3 Reload, this game is considered one of the better gacha games out there and has been received as one of the better Persona spin-off titles. So if you're interested in this massive free-to-play game, mark your calendars for June 26th when it releases worldwide on mobile and Steam. Atlus is giving out some incentives here on your screen for those who pre-register, so you can take part in this if it interests you to get some extra goodies, of which I will have linked in the description. But if you're more interested to see if your phone or PC can run this title, here are the system requirements. Now, I know this title isn't exactly what many Persona fans are looking forward to, as it's essentially a game that has been widely known about for a number of years, and given that it's yet another one of those mass-produced free-to-play gacha games, and is yet another spin-off of Persona 5, many Persona fans are craving for that next mainline Persona game, and I think Atlus is well aware of that, hence announcing the global release of this title ahead of Summer Game Fest. See, while there are many of us who are excited to finally experience P5X, I mean, there have been over 200,000 players who have already pre-registered ahead of the game's launch, the next core Persona game? No, not more spin-offs, but more remakes of classic games, and especially Persona 6, is truly what fans are anticipating most. So I think Atlus deliberately announced all this P5X stuff ahead of Summer Game Fest to capitalize on what fans are waiting for ahead of Persona's 30th anniversary. Atlus had one of the most incredible years in its history last year in 2024, with the launches of Persona 3 Reload and Studio Zero's Metaphor ReFantazio. And just a year prior in 2023 saw not only both of those games first announced at Summer Game Fest, but also the announcement of Persona 5 Tactica, resulting in 3 significant Atlus reveals all at one event. That was 2 years ago. With next year representing the 30th anniversary of Persona, and with one game, that game being Persona 5 The Phantom X, one that has a bit of hype surrounding it, already being announced mere weeks ahead of the biggest event of the year for game reveals, I wouldn't be surprised if we were introduced to even more Persona games to follow. We've talked at length about the likelihood of Persona 4 Remake getting announced at this coming Summer Game Fest, and yeah, let's just say, it's absolutely looking like it's still going to happen. We'd likely see this game get revealed at Xbox's showcase, as this has been the stage for the past several Persona and Atlus reveals, and with a likely release date for early 2026 or even late 2025, this gives Atlus a huge Persona game to release at or near the start of 2026 that will draw up hype for what many fans are most interested in: Persona 6. As we've discussed in my most recent video, Persona 6 has seen a lot of leaks and rumors over the years, but with early last year marking the end of those substantial rumors and leaks, we've essentially got no real leads as to what's going on with Persona 6. That said, some of the biggest leaks in the series, heck, with gaming in general, happen mere days and weeks before they get officially announced, as evidenced by Persona 5 Tactica and especially Persona 3 Reload's reveals. The upcoming remake of Persona 4 had its domain registration go public not too long ago, along with an update to that domain, suggesting we won't have to wait long at all until the game finally gets revealed. Just going back to some of those Persona 6 leaks from last year, the GOAT of Persona and Sega leaks, Midori aka Ryan from the Bronx, back in November 2023, not only correctly predicted Metaphor ReFantazio and P5X's release years, along with the tests that P5X would have in other countries, but also stated that Persona 6 would be released in 2025, with the reveal of the title still being decided. Another notable leaker on Reset Era on Head on the Block also claimed that Persona 6 would launch in 2025, stating that Atlus moved games around for it. Well, we are pretty deep into 2025, and with not even an official announcement of Persona 6 yet, it's safe to say that any hope of Persona 6 releasing this year is slim to none. Perhaps Midori, aka Ryan from the Bronx, was right all along back in September 2023 when he predicted that the next mainline Persona game would likely launch in 2026, going further to state that it's not only a larger scale game than Persona 5, but also that the leap from Personas 3 to 4 to 5 would be much more apparent with Persona 6. Now, interestingly enough, Persona 4 Remake was leaked last year, with both Midori and Head on the Block remarking that Persona 4 Remake was years away, implying that Persona 6 would almost certainly release before Persona 4 Remake, but now it seems like the opposite is likely to hold true. With Persona 4 Remake's domain now out there, and with history likely repeating itself here as the game is expected to get revealed at Summer Game Fest, just like what happened with its predecessor Persona 3 Reload, it can only really be interpreted that the development on Persona 4 Remake kicked into high gear after Sega and Atlus realized how Persona 3 Reload shattered sales records and became the fastest selling Persona game of all time. Having a game like Persona 4 Remake launch in early 2026 or late into 2025 would be Atlus's way of kicking off its 30th anniversary celebration before saving Persona 6 for later into 2026. Releasing the game on, say, Tuesday, September 20th, 2026 would be a fitting release for Persona 6, as this would represent the 30-year anniversary of the series, as the very first game, Revelations Persona, released on that day back in 1996. This would also adhere to Atlus's release cadence with some of their other titles, as both Persona 5 and Metaphor ReFantazio released in September and October respectively. However they decide to release Persona 6, we are likely going to see this game released later in the year than earlier, simply to give Persona 4 Remake some time to shine. Now, all eyes are on Summer Game Fest for both these game reveals, as this was the event that saw not 2, but 3 big Atlus games get revealed during Summer Game Fest 2023. And while Persona 6 could still very likely show up here, I wouldn't be surprised if Atlus decides to unveil the game for the first time at the Game Awards, as a reveal here is likely to get more of a reaction that both Atlus and Jeff Keighley want, but both Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards seem very likely to me. To sum it all up, I believe Atlus very apparently revealed Persona 5 The Phantom X's global launch ahead of Summer Game Fest in order to really give way for the bigger, more anticipated game reveals, which is giving me even more certainty that not only Persona 4 Remake will be announced this year, but also Persona 6, and heck, even the heavily rumored Persona 1 and 2 remakes or remasters that have been leaked by Midori and Head on the Block. we've got a lot on the horizon for us Persona and SMT fans, and with an anniversary as big as this for Atlus's best performing franchise, it looks more and more likely that we are going to be eating well next year, as we are likely getting a remake of one of the most beloved entries in the series, along with finally the next mainline entry. At the end of the day, those are just my thoughts and theories, and I might be completely wrong here, but I really think there is a reason Atlus saved the reveal of P5X ahead of the big announcements to come at Summer Game Fest. But share with me your thoughts in the comments. That's all I have for you in this video, my friends. Come find me over in this video as we document all the likely changes coming to Persona 4 Remake, and I look forward to seeing you all real soon in the next one.